Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rational Investors Daily Bitcoin Summary here for, where are we now? Wednesday, August 2014. It's class day, so school for Bitcoin traders. I've got class coming up here, the European session coming up in about 3 hours, so I look forward to that. But anyway, this is our daily YouTube summary, so yeah, we'd like to shoot for about 5-10 minute video. We're just going to cover the higher time frames. And as always, if you want to drill down, look at more finite trade setups, all those kind of things, you can hop over to the member site, which you can find at Crypto Live. If you just go to therationalinvestor.co and then click on Crypto Live up top here. And it takes you to our little live trading room. Lately I've added a few widgets here. We've got a nice little chat feed from TradingView, a chart, and a nice quote board of all of the cryptos that TradingView follows. But if you just scroll down, basically the way I've set this up is it should be just a nice dovetail. We'll do the higher time frames off the daily video, and then the sort of dovetail to that when we look at the 4 hours and the 1 hours. We'll do that in the members video. So let's get on to the daily analysis and see what we've got going on here. As we've talked about at length lately, and I remember this when I was a kid because I used to be a big baseball fan, and we used to call them the dog days of August, where, the pennant races would just sort of drag on endlessly. And really the irony of it all for baseball is that they don't, it doesn't really get serious until like September. So, you can kind of lose focus in baseball land through these days, but you still got to try and keep your focus and keep thinking about the fall. Um, in stock market land, you can see quite a bit of action actually lately in stock market land. If we go and look at, the major stock indexes, not to get off topic, and maybe because I've gotten off topic, I might extend this a little longer. But looking at the S&P 500s, for example, this is a 4 hour chart. I mean, it's been a bit of a challenge here for the stocks. They didn't correct through this normal May-June time period when they should have, so I think they're just playing catch up right now. And if you just happen to draw, just really simple fibs, you can see here's Mr. Gann's 50% level. It's jumping out like a sore thumb here. So we're getting fairly, we're still working our way lower. And because this has been so violent, we could easily spring right back up top here. You see there's lots of gaps to be filled in. But not a big surprise. In fact, we should probably have this the other way around to help you guys. Let's go reverse, and there you go. All right, so here's OTE on the stock market. There is this big ugly gap right here. Here's Mr. Gann's 50% level. So, not a big surprise what's happening. A few associates have been asking me about the stock market, and I drew up some charts. I think fact I had this was the S&P 500 chart that I had posted probably about a month ago, and the Twitter headline was put a fork in her, she's done. And actually it turns out it was a pretty good call. So I had posted a couple charts to the effect that these two converging trend lines suggested we were going to get near a top, and it's just interesting how the market really ran out of steam there. And once we hit those converging trend lines, you notice we had this big bear divergence. And we have a similar divergence going on in Bitcoin, so that's relevant for use. But you can see how this massive bear divergence in momentum, and Willie had gotten nice and stupid here. We're actually, I suppose you could just extend this rectangle through the whole area. I mean, the market is just still stupid overbought all through here. And now we're finally starting to see some of the chickens come out here, and they're starting to dump their positions. So we'll see how this momentum plays itself out. As I said, long and short of it here is OTE way down here. And big old, look at this big old juicy gap here. That's just saying, fill me, fill me. So at some point that may happen, but now that we're coming down, here's 38.2, you can see it put up a bit of a fight here, and this is an up bar, so really we're right back at 38.2 here. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever in stock market land to see a counter trend rally. If these happen to be the lows, who knows? Right back up into OTE short, right, which would be up into here. And look at this, 61.8 Mr. Mountain Man's trade sitting right at the gap there. So anyway, because I think the most important thing with regard to Bitcoin is what I noticed was, and really this is a 4-hour chart. We should probably be looking at the daily for you guys here. What I noticed was the day that the stock market topped out and broke here, that was basically the day that we came down and tested this 555 level, right? This was this battle day in here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sessions ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so the stock market actually topped out a couple days earlier. But long and short of it, it was right into this. And when the market broke and it had this violent move down, Bitcoin had its big jump up. I thought that was really interesting. So, we may see that if the stock market has to continue this correctionary action, we may actually see Bitcoin enjoy a bit of a dead cat bounce here. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but I just found it really fascinating that the point at which the stock market topped and broke, the Bitcoin market came springing back. And as I had said in my previous commentaries recently, that these lows looked really interesting in here, and their action on these lows, I mean, basically the market, in my opinion, had just run out of sellers there. And we'll look at that more, I suppose, off the lower time frames. For you day traders and, looking at the big picture, the message has been basically the same for quite a while now here. We're just stuck in this trading range, right? 668 on BTCE is your top of your range, and 545.50 is the bottom end of the range. And really, I would argue the bottom end of this range is this 38.2 fib, which is just a little bit lower than this number here. So that leads me to believe, remember we recently we had just, all I'd done, and you'll find over time, this is such a powerful technique, is you'd actually draw your trend lines off of the previous highs and the current lows. And so what we get here is off of this previous rally, right off of the 340 lows, if we draw the trend line off of that to this low at 545, number one, you notice that it has just an ever so slightly negative slope. And a nice test of that, right, would take us right down into the 38.2. And what's interesting here, I just noticed this, and this is sort of why I like doing this, is because I often see these things develop as I'm talking to you guys. But I suppose you could argue that we might have a new bear ABCD trying to form here. So if we go there to there, and then off of this rally peak, there to there. So that's definitely in the realm of possibilities here, right? That's just that trading range down to that trading range. This is kind of a funny number in here. It's not near any fibs. It's not on a trend line, so it's tough to say whether that's actually for real or not just yet. But it's definitely out there. It's a possibility. What I might do is let's clone that. And let's put that, say, there, and then we'll change this color to a nice red for bear. And we'll change this to red. All right, so that's potential. It's sitting out there. This has already been completed. So, really, tests of either of these ends of the ranges are actually completely normal. in the stock market. And I had sort of pointed out, that futures traders, when I was trading crude oil, there are guys that actually have setups that you just literally buy this low. So this low is 551, 5.01. They literally have their open order just sitting there. Maybe it's at 555.02 or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. And they have a defined risk. They might even say, you know what, I'll just risk against this low. So I'm going to buy this low and I'll risk down, on a break of this low in earnest. And really, I've sort of talked about it. I don't have a problem with being long in here and risking to just below this 38.2 or just below this trend line somewhere down in here. I'm a little concerned that we might have this bear ABCD that might just go flush those stops. But anyway, having said that, had you bought that 555 low, I think you should have taken at least some partial profits on the dead cat bounce. And really, like I've been talking for a while now, where I've said that this market here, almost said stock market, this market, Bitcoin, it really defined a really nice, what we call a narrow sideways channel, thanks to Kenny Roberts way back when. Between basically about 603, 604, all the way up to 630. And you remember for a long time I was really stoked about this 630. I was like, well, maybe we got something here. That was on this reversal here, and then we failed and we lost it. So really, it wouldn't surprise me to see a real test of this 604. I don't know whether this is it. What would we rally to? 598.50. Sure wasn't a hell of a lot. And I suppose, just as we just did there a second ago off of these lines, we do have the potential for a little bull ABCD here. And, you might even have a little bullish bot set up because it looks like we got maybe a little double bottom. This is going to run into a ton of traffic here at the 30 SMA, the bottom of this old trend channel, and this trend line, right? There's just going to be a world of traffic here. So I would say this is going to be a pretty tough trade. And if we look at the lower time frames, you'll see why. I think there's reason to look for a shot up into this area because of these gaps. But this would be a tough trade. All right, so just to finish off you YouTubers, that's sort of like the daily, big picture. Really, I don't think you can take any major conclusions until we either break out through the top end of the range or break out through the bottom. If we break out through the bottom, then OTE's down here in the mid 400s, and I would fully expect the market to head back down into here if we break through these lows. And conversely, if we break out higher, then it's a bull ABCD, boom, 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 boom. Where you do have a bot long setup, and we've talked long about that, no pun intended. And that might still be perfectly valid. I really like bot setups where you have 3 lows to work with. So we got 1, 2, 3 lows. The fact that this low here is 555 right on the nose, and this low here is 555.01 suggests there's some pretty good looking buying support down there at that 555. Remember, we talked about how the market just ran out of sellers there. So that's really interesting. So a bullish resolution through here, we might actually get a half decent buy signal. So let's go see what the internals look like. This double top and OBV still working, but you can see we've got the smatterings of a bottom. We're still pointed down on the OBV in the short term, but we just put in a market structure top, so that's not good. Last little M. Should we get a reversal up through here, and really that would probably be the confirmation of this breakout here, that could be very constructive, but unfortunately it's just not bottom just yet. Momentum, raw momentum, we still have this bearish MACD, and you can see we're trying to form a bottom. I personally would love to see it come down, up, down, and then take off. That would be fantastic if we could see something like that. But it's still a little too early to tell, and we've just had this down, and we've had a prolonged up here, so I'm concerned we might have to have a bit of a down here. So we might see a bit of a wash. That might be the completion of this. Willie, nothing really to write home about here. We now have a massive market structure top in the moving average, right? Down, up, and then down. So that's not good. So we need some more constructive action here, please. We had this sort of up thrust bottom off of a really poor market structure here, so really no W. If anything, this is just dead cat bouncy right back into resistance. So not really a heck of a lot to get too excited about there. But anyway, that is your daily summary. We resolved the current, or I guess the most recent trading range negatively. That's worked its way lower. Testing the bottom end of the range. Range strategy traders, OTEs down in here off the lower time frames, buying against the lows with your stop just underneath. Those trades are working. And your targets have got to be a test back of the top end of the range. So fingers crossed for you there. Trend followers, like I said, we're in this massive trading range. Big hurry up and do nothing. Had a fantastic buy signal that came up through late spring, rallied right up into resistance, and now we're just sitting on the sidelines waiting. All right, so that's basically your summary from the daily charts for the Bitcoin. And as I said, if we want to get some lower time frame analysis and trade setups and trade ideas, then hop on over to the Crypto Live site, and we'll take the ball from there. All right, so you guys have a great day. All the best, and wish me luck in class today. We're talking about. What's it on today? Today is all about getting personal and building your business as a business and not just a hobby. So, all right. Have yourselves a great day. We'll talk to you soon. All the best and good luck in your trades. Bye for now.